What did I just watch? Philadelphia Eagles just pulled off one of the greatest comeback victories in recent memory. Eagles erased a 19-point deficit against the Los Angeles Rams to remain undefeated. I'm still trying to process what transpired. I clearly had my doubts, but this Eagles team is simply finding ways to win ugly games. And there is a lot to unpack from Sunday's game. Where do I start? I think the Eagles have a real-time issue with offensive play calling. Let me explain. I know. Lane Johnson did miss the remainder of the game due to a neck injury he sustained early after that first touchdown drive. And Matt Pryor looked like the worst offensive tackle in the NFL when he stepped in relief of Lane. But even with Lane Johnson gone, the way the offense consistently struggled to get the ball to their playmakers and to create spacing and execute made my eyes bleed. The Eagles had -1 passing yards in the first half. Listen, Lane Johnson is probably the best right tackle in football, and his presence means a lot to not only the passing game, but the running game as well. Saquon was limited today, and we thought coming into the game, Saquon will continue the success he's had against the Rams in the past. But with Lane being gone, Saquon was obviously limited there. But it is football, and injuries happen, and you have to adjust quickly. The adjustments the Eagles made by electing Matt Pryor to come in the game over Fred Johnson was a choice that handcuffed the Eagles in their pass protection and run offense. As much as I praise Jeff Stoutland, if he is in charge of the offensive line substitutions, then he deserves some rightful criticism for what transpired today. Look, the Eagles eventually made the switch to Fred in the third quarter, and it looked like night and day. Why it took so long to make that adjustment, I do not know, but it's a little questionable. Another thing, can we remove John Mechie III from kickoffs? What was that? Look, there were a lot of ugly plays in this football game, but there were a lot of high-level plays as well. It's going to sound like a broken record with me, but I feel like Zach Bond makes a huge play every game. That interception on the Rams' first drive was so beautiful. The instincts, the IQ, the ball skills, that's why he is an all-pro, and that's why he means so much to the linebacking core that we have. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, I think you can argue that they're probably the best 1-2 punch defensive tackles in football right now. The effort from those two all game was impressive, but Jordan was most definitely the MVP on defense and special team, and the big fella turned on the Nas at the end to score such an amazing play. I'm so proud of Jordan Davis. Now, a lot of Eagles fans were calling Davis a bust not too long ago, but they got to zip it up now because he's playing like an all-pro. Sometimes players are just late bloomers. But all in all, his play against the Rams on Sunday made a huge impact and a huge difference in the outcome of the game. So you got to give props where it's due. Jalen Hurts. He's amazing. He's elite. He's clutch. The franchise quarterback. What more can I say? All that talk in the offseason about the Eagles carrying Hurts and them winning in spite of Hurts, blah, blah, blah. What we saw today was elite franchise quarterback play, and you cannot deny it. Jalen was abysmal in the first half, not going to lie. Lane Johnson being out clearly affected Jalen's rhythm, protection, and timing. But then Jalen turned the headset off. Getting the ball to his playmakers, getting the ball down the field, throwing the ball more than 6 yards, you saw Jalen in the spread more. Jalen Hurts was 18 of 28 with 212 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns while trailing the Rams in Sunday's game. Hurts finished the game with 4 total TDs. If you're going to take away anything from this comeback victory, let it be this. Great things happen when you unleash Jalen Hurts. Also, we see another side of Hurts when he's faced with adversity. At the end of the day, you have to let Jalen play his game. Jalen now has a 17-game winning streak, and that could be a lesson for the coaching staff as well. The play calling seemed a bit timid until you saw Jalen share his emotions on the field and on the sideline. He's the reigning Super Bowl MVP for a reason. I think this win against the Rams was better than the 2023 comeback against the Buffalo Bills. What do you think? Am I tripping for saying that? Let me know in the comments below. Another ugly win, like I said before, but this team is resilient. They're just making plays when it matters most, and they're getting every team's best effort. Thus, because the Eagles are the standard. Birds are 3-0, and we have to keep the main thing, and that's winning. Also, one more thing. Shut up about the tush push. It ain't going nowhere for the time being, so just be quiet. Stop the play or just hush it up. Also, Nick Sirianni is 4-0 versus Sean McVay. They don't say that part out loud. Again, thank you for tapping in. Until next time, fly Eagles fly.